All right, hello everybody. This is Donald Patterson coming to you from a very frigid New Brunswick this morning. This is the first of what hopefully will be a long series of podcasts called NB Bassin. What else is there to do in the cold New Brunswick winter other than to talk about it, think about it, gear up and get ready for another great season of smallmouth fishing here in New Brunswick, and hopefully I'll be here to guide you along the way a little bit. The first thing I guess I should do, since this is all new, is I should let you folks know a little bit about me. I am a 39-year-old father of one, husband, self-employed in the trucking industry. Just myself got into fishing, period, about 8 years ago. I guess it'll be 9 this summer. I've been fishing competitively for 4 years, focusing primarily on our amazing New Brunswick bass just for the last 2, going into my 3rd competitive season. I recently was appointed to the board of directors for the New Brunswick Sport Fishing Association, and I've got a few great companies that I've had the opportunity to work with, staffing for the likes of Fish Bum Outfitters, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best fishing apparel companies in the world. Southern Yankee Baits, custom poured soft plastics out of North Carolina, NMO, Northern Michigan Outfitters, wonderful outfitting company based out of Michigan that are partnering and expanding across the U.S. and into Canada as well, and also a custom spinner bait manufacturer out of North Carolina called War Dog Lures. The support of those companies has gone a long ways to helping me get where I'm at, and with any luck at all, the support of those companies will help carry me even further. Like I said, this is basically an introductory broadcast, introducing myself to everyone and giving you a rough idea as to what my intentions are going forward. This is totally unscripted this morning, so you'll have to bear with me. There will be some ums and ahs and pauses. Somewhat unprofessional of me, yes, but once again, I am a truck driver, not a broadcasting professional, and I'm just here to have a little bit of fun, talk to some good people, hopefully going forward as I get a better handle on the technology and my ability to do so, and also educate, inform, and maybe entertain a person every now and then. My knowledge base is not huge. I'm not a professional angler. I'm not anything special. I have one bass tournament victory under my belt coming this past May down in the wonderful state of Maine in actually what was primarily a largemouth event. So I'm still on a major learning curve. My regular tournament partner and I, Jason Bellier, he and I have been going at it hard and heavy for the last 2 years, hitting New Brunswick waters steadily, virtually every tournament we could get into. And we've learned a lot. We've had some good days. We've had some terrible days. And there's a lot more for us to learn yet. So, as I said, just bear with me, and with any luck at all, you guys will teach me something. Maybe I'll teach you something. Either way, hopefully we'll have a lot of fun along the way. I guess what I'm going to talk about today is a conversation I saw come up online last night. Is the price of boats hurting our sport? This is just going to be a quick little, me flapping my gums with my own personal opinion piece. I don't have any quote-unquote experts. I don't have any facts and figures and documentations. This is strictly me being mouthy and opinionated. If you look at the price of a new bass boat, I was talking to the owner of a dealership myself this past weekend. We're looking for a 20 to 21 foot boat, 225, 250, horsepower, what most high-end competitive anglers really would like to have. Whether it's in their budget or not, that's kind of everyone's target, is to have something comparable to what, the big boys, so to speak, use. In Canadian money, we're looking $100,000 after taxes at least. At least. How can I justify that? I am, as I said, a father, a husband. I'm self-employed. No, self-employed does not mean that I'm rich. I struggle. I work hard every day. I put in 60, 70, 80 hours some weeks. And some weeks I take side work. I've been DJing for 18 plus years. So some weeks I take side work and DJ a little bit here and there just to make a little extra money. So can I justify spending $100,000? That's more than I spent on my family's first house. Can I justify that for a hobby, for a toy? We want people to come out and get into competitive angling. I personally own a 1980 Cajun 17 foot with a 98 Mariner 150. That I bought 2 years ago. And with the price of boats, and that's a big if, I do an upgrade, I can guarantee it's going to be an upgrade by my standards, but it's still going to be a second-hand boat. I just can't justify it. And if you're looking at wanting to get younger individuals into the sport, I'm one of the, quote, young guys in our association, in our tour. Granted, yes, there are a few younger than me, but I'm probably in the bottom 10% age-wise, and I'm knocking on 40. So we want to attract young people to this sport. How do we do it when the boats are priced the way they are? It's just not fathomable. Bad choice of words. I guess that doesn't want to come out this morning. It just doesn't. I can't wrap my mind around how we expect a 25-year-old who wants to come out and fish recreationally. It's not like we're making a living at this. This is a recreational activity. He's going to need a $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 truck to tow a $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 boat. And that's not counting his gas, his entry fees, his rods, his reels, everything else that we all know we spend a ton of money on. So it doesn't make sense. I can see a huge increase coming in kayak fishing, in small boat, small water tournaments, aluminum boats, restricted horsepower, something of that nature. If something doesn't start to turn around and come back the other way, I see that's where the recreational element of our sport is going to have to go. Because there's always going to be guys that make good money, whether they've inherited money or they are lucky enough to get the right education and find the right job. But they're going to be such a small percentile. Can our sport survive? I've helped organize tournaments. I've been talking with bigger sanctioning bodies about bringing some tournaments here to New Brunswick. And they're talking about wanting 100 boat fields. How do you get it? How do you get it? I've talked to members of our association, and they say that, years ago here in New Brunswick, you used to get a 100 boat field. Why don't you anymore? There's got to be a reason. And is the cost of that boat at least one of the reasons? I'm not saying it's the only reason, but is it at least one of the reasons? It's just mind-boggling. I'm lucky enough that I have a phenomenal tournament partner who has a much better equipped boat than mine for tournament fishing on a larger scale. My boat's great, fun fishing, small tournaments, no problem. But big water, longer runs, My partner Jason, he's much better equipped for it than I am. And that's great. He's one of the reasons, actually no, he is the reason why I fish. Excuse me. He is the man who got me into fishing almost 9 years ago. So I have him to thank for a lot. Some of my family may differ on whether or not I should thank him because they don't see me a lot through the summer, but I have him to thank for the fact that I even fish. So, but not everybody has that friend who has that boat that's willing to say, yeah, okay, we can use my boat, let's go tournament fishing. It's just such a shame. We talk about wanting our kids to put down the video games and come outside, do stuff outside. Well, I've had my young fella bass fishing. I've had my young fella trout fishing. We've gone to a local wharf where you can drop a hook and a worm off the end and catch perch at the rate of probably about 3 a minute if you can reworm the hook fast enough. My young fella doesn't want to catch that little stuff anymore. If it's not a bass, at least a chain pickerel, preferably a bass, something with some size and some strength so he can get a little bit of a fight out of it. He doesn't want to catch that little stuff. So I need to be able to get him to bigger bodies of water. And yes, I can take him bank fishing, and we have, and he's enjoyed it. But he's also still only 8 years old. So when he gets a little restless, he likes being able to say, Daddy, put your rod down, let's go for a boat ride. And we go for a little cruise. It allows me to spend some time that I will always treasure with my young son while he's still young and actually wants to hang out with the old man. All these things are affected. It's not just tournament angling. It's families. It's, I just, part of me feels almost heartbroken that our sport is going to take the hit that it takes. Like I said, it's not just tournaments. It's family fishing. I know, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but I know some people that have full-blown bass boats, you know, full electronics, everything. They don't fish seriously in tournaments. They fish a few, maybe a couple little fun tournaments throughout the year. Like I run one called Fishing for Memories, a charity pickerel tournament, raising money for the Alzheimer's Society of New Brunswick. But other than that, their boats are used 95 to 99% for fun fishing. How can you do it when that fun fishing is going to cost you $100 grand if you want to buy a new one? Or even a used one for that matter is, depending on what you buy, you know, more than a good vehicle, you know, more than a camp on the lake, more than a small home. It just doesn't fathom that this is going to be sustainable for our sport long term. So what can we do about it? Unfortunately, that I can't answer. You know, there's got to be some compromises from the manufacturers, whether they find a way to construct a slightly cheaper series of boats. You know, okay, yeah, keep your high-end boats on the market. It's no different than the guys who can afford a Corvette are going to buy a Corvette. You know, or the people that can afford a $500,000 home, well, they're going to have a $500,000 home. Have something for the rest of us. And does that mean there's going to be an increase in some of the aluminum bass boats? That's a possibility. Slightly cheaper. Don't have quite the performance that a fiberglass boat has, but you know, maybe that's what it's going to come down to. But there's got to be something. You know, there's got to be something. If we want our sport to thrive, there has to be options. So, and as I said before, kayak fishing, CPR, catch, photograph, and release tournaments. I know a pile of people that would advocate that. And I'm not saying that I'm against it. It's not my first choice. But if you give me